Today's podcast is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, well, let me explain. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. It has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many other platforms. You don't even have to think about it. You just load up your podcast, you drop it in, you tweak it, you add ads. You can make money from your podcast. There's no minimum listenership either. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Club Cool puts the podcast out on Anchor. So do all the other Wash Media podcasts. And we've done this from other platforms. Nothing is as seamless or pretty or easy or just, perfect for putting out a podcast. So check out Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to the club.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another edition of the Club Cool podcast. I am here in the very spooky Washed Media Studios, joined once again, he's been gone for too long, it's Phil Battaglia. Phil, what's up?
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah? What do you think of the new Dicks?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've only seen it on camera, not in person.
Mm-hmm.
It is scary in here.
Yeah,
I had to step back when I walked in.
Yeah.
It scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
I jumped.
Yeah. It's October, man. You get your Halloween costume all queued up, all picked out?
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, I'm going to be that lady that's the cult leader in that HBO documentary.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You have to check her out.
What's the cult about?
Weight loss.
Wait, okay. Is this is different than the leggings documentary?
Yeah,
the
right.
one about
I want to see that too.
LuLaRoe?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I heard that one's insane too.
Yeah, I've heard that's really good.
It's funny listening to people talk about like all these documentaries that everybody's watching. Does anybody ever like come and be like, man, I watched this documentary that they put out. It was totally boring. I wasn't interested or gripped at all.
Well, this one that I'm talking about is on that same. It's almost to that point.
Like they don't to where it's almost boring.
Yes. There's only 3 episodes though, so I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like they don't make documentaries about boring stuff. That's why they made a documentary about it, because it's fascinating and interesting and is going to grip you. But
you just think that the way that they're shot, typically the good ones, you get so hyped up, like for the trailer. Like, man, this is going to be an incredible story. A lot of, deceiving stuff's going to happen. People get killed. And
yeah. Whatever happened to The Vow season 2? I thought that was supposed to come out in 2021. Mm-hmm. You think COVID got in the way? You think Keith Raniere is he clamming up? He's not. He's not talking.
What happened to Euphoria?
Yeah, great question. I think they're back shooting again though.
Yeah.
Or they're close to wrapping or something. We're gonna get season 2 is slated for next year. I think.
Did you watch those 2 episodes that they put
I have
out?
not watched those yet. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Worthwhile.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just really, really strong acting by both of them.
Yes.
Or everybody that's in those episodes.
Yeah, I both of them are phenomenal actors. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that. What else has been going on with you? We got ACL this weekend.
Yeah, just picked up the bands.
Austin City Limits. Got your wristbands.
Got the bands.
Okay.
Right.
You got some fancy bands or something?
Almost put it on to come in here.
You got some VIPs? You got some platinums?
I got some bands.
Okay. Well, you're going to see some bands as well. And right before we got started here, ACL, by the way, perfect intersection of style and pop culture.
Yeah.
Music, as it were, is the pop culture there.
The medium. The medium,
exactly. And I mean, lots of funky style out there.
Yeah.
I heard from week 1 goers. Now, from a trustworthy source, but also a slightly older source, that there were lots. He felt it was the most Coachella looking it's ever been as far as audience and crowd. And I feel like that's just been happening slowly but surely over the last several years. People get hyped for this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So you had a bone to pick with an act at ACL. You will not be going to see Jack Harlow.
He's at ACL?
Yes.
No, I definitely won't go see that.
And this is you saw him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And you had nice things to say about his style.
Looks great.
But you thought that his performance was due to.
I just didn't know that's the kind of music. I didn't first of all, full disclosure, I'm really lame I didn't know who the hell he was. I've seen
Okay.
pictures of him.
Did you recognize? You at least recognized the like "What's Poppin'" song, right?
No.
No,
No.
you're just out of the hip hop game
I am
altogether.
totally. That's just not my bag, especially that kind of hip hop. That's no good.
Like you mean like fun, bouncy hip hop?
Right. I want gunshots.
Are you going to go see Freddie Gibbs then?
Sure. I don't know who that is. But
No.
I'll go see him.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know who
Is he
anybody
like the
is?
antithesis?
Do
No.
you know who anybody is?
No, I wasn't planning to go to ACL this year because I don't know the lineup. But I always end up getting FOMO. Like, it's in town. Why not go? It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about starting the shows off tomorrow with a little 4 p.m. Machine Gun Kelly.
Ooh,
How do you feel about that?
absolutely not. That's another one.
What if I told you that Megan Fox was going to come out on stage with him?
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch.
Do you think that
Is
there?
she?
Do you think no? Do you think that there will be a mosh pit at Machine Gun Kelly?
So he does that? That happens at his shows?
I don't know. And that he has reinvented himself. He was a white rapper. He had beef with Eminem, and then he like totally reinvented himself, and is now like early 2000s emo rap guy.
Yeah.
Who's got some music out there that frankly bangs and is very fun to listen to. And I just like, I'm not saying I'm going to get in the 4 p.m. mosh pit, but do I want to watch like a bunch of, 18-year-olds get like moshing around to Machine Gun Kelly? You bet your ass I do.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to make it. 4 p.m. is a little earlier than I get out there these days, but
Is it?
we'll see. We'll see. A notable lack of Rustin Kelly at ACL, which is really disappointing to me. After our conversation a few weeks back about
Have you seen
Rustin Kelly, ex-husband of Casey Musgraves.
Have you seen clips of her on SNL?
Well, I watched last weekend's ACL, so yeah, I saw her. I saw both of her
Oh,
performances.
that was last weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I follow her on Instagram, so I saw the clips that she was teasing, and she's naked.
In one of the performances,
Yeah.
she's like fully naked, sitting down on cross-legged on a stool with the guitar. I think that the performances were totally like good. They were fine. They were pretty low key. People always take like one of two tacks. I think on HBO on SNL, you either like go like the Kanye route where you're going to do like a full blown like performance art, go deep on the performance. You're going to set up some crazy lights and like dance in a box and like do a bunch of other weird stuff, or you just like strip it all down and just like
Literally.
literally showcase the talent, which is the route that I think Casey went.
Yeah.
There, which makes sense for singer-songwriter type music. I think the biggest thing for me on Casey, and not that I needed SNL performance to pick this out, but we talk about veneers on this podcast quite a bit. We're known as like a veneer podcast generally. Catch us on those.
That's your goal in life. Is to
Catch
get
us
those
on the
veneers.
on the dental charts. But like the Hollywood glam, the makeover that you get when you like I'm a star now. I don't think teeth is number one anymore. At least not if you're a woman. It's lips.
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing that they do for you now.
Right.
It's like we got to plump up those lips, babe.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Yeah. And like, look, I'm on Instagram. I see the celebrities. Like I'm conditioned to think that this looks great now. So I think she looks fabulous on her. It's just noticeable that like I can Google Casey Musgraves 2016 and she ain't got those lips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, they were good. So, okay. So we got no Rustin Kelly out there. You're out on Machine Gun Kelly. You're poo-pooing Jack Harlow, which is just, really upsetting to everybody that likes fun music. And you're going George Strait, who's just going to stand up there like a stereo box over Miley.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how about Doja Cat? Can I get you interested in Doja Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. She should be good.
I've never heard one thing from her, but I'll go. I sent you my list, and then the rest of it I'm open up. I will do whatever anybody wants to.
Did you? I can't remember. Well, is Phoebe Bridgers on your list?
No. Who's that? Play the music. Cue the music, Randy.
Okay, okay, legitimately though, Phoebe Bridgers, that one I'm surprised you don't know.
Yeah,
That's like a hip, hot indie artist. Like, you know, people love her. People love her.
I don't care.
Pull up the song "Tokyo" by Phoebe Bridgers.
Okay.
Here's my question for about the Phoebe Bridgers show. I've listened to the new album, and there's some other acts out there at ACL, like John Baptiste comes to mind, where like I don't want to do slow, kind of boring music at a festival. Is that do you like? You know, and I'm a little worried that the Phoebe Bridgers show, outside of her kind of maybe like 2 songs that they play on like Sirius XM on the
Motion Sickness, is that it?
XMU station or whatever. The song? Uh-huh. What else you got on that list?
Kyoto,
not Tokyo. Kyoto. Play Kyoto to hear so like I'm a little worried that this show will be boring. Like this is about as upbeat as it gets. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Cut it, Phil. Cut it.
That's pretty good.
We just narrowly escaped copyright laws there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I'm down. If that doesn't interfere with something that I actually want to see, then I'll go.
Yeah. My point is I can't do boring music at a music festival.
Yeah, I get that.
I have to be able to like at least like shake my rump a little bit.
Yeah, I understand. But you know that George Strait, while it's not like, you know, bleeding edge pop music right now.
Yeah.
You're gonna know just about every song, which is it's just a big sing along. That's what you want.
Yeah,
in a headliner.
Yeah, but so will Miley, and I like Miley's music better.
Yeah.
And it will be more of a performance. And I don't know. Going into this weekend, a couple weeks back, I was full on like I have to see George Strait. I've never seen him before. Yeah. It's kind of, you know, you got to check that box. Saw the reviews of the Miley show last weekend, and now I'm in on I'm all the way back in on Miley.
What are the people saying?
That it was just a phenomenal performance, and that she's like, you know, maybe great pipes, incredible vocalist. Yeah. And I mean, she's like getting. Look, I always appreciate artists that continually reinvent themselves as well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she out of all of the, you know, the pop stars that are out there right now, I mean, she's the closest that we have to like a Madonna at this point, that kind of conceptually like retools her genres and her music and her looks and her performances and all of that. And like right now, she's kind of like doing the Dolly Parton thing, but still has the whole back catalog. Like, you know, I'm a big fan of the album Bangers, with like, which was her hip hop kind of phase. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, I don't know, it's going to be a really cool, eclectic set, I think. And I want to see her do her thing more than I want to stand there and sing along to like All My Exes Live in Texas. I'm sure that will be fun too, though. Did you cop anything new for this weekend?
Yeah, I did.
Was there anything that you're like, I gotta have this for my style steez at the Festy this weekend?
No, but I got targeted. No, I did not get targeted. Somewhat. It was a backdoor target. So I follow a tattoo shop here in town, and they released a batch of merch, and these shorts are dope.
Yeah, you got some shorts.
Yeah, and so anyway, I got targeted by the people that make the shorts because I clicked on it.
Okay.
And I bought them.
Nice. What are we talking here?
7-inch inseam. It's got a graphic. It's got a little patch.
Okay.
They're
cotton?
black.
Cotton? Mesh?
No, mesh.
Mesh?
Yeah.
Yeah? Elastic waist?
Yes.
I assume? Very nice. Very nice.
You're going to be comfortable, functional.
Yeah.
I think there's pockets.
Yeah?
Although I hate having shit in my pockets, especially at this kind of thing.
Yeah. You know? Do you typically go like, do you typically go any type of bag, any type of waist pack, backpack?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to bring backpacks this year?
I've seen when we walked the trail on Sunday, and there was a lot of people going in with backpacks. So
yeah, I think you can still bring a bag, but there are definitely new rules at festival this year. So, all right, yeah, I like that. I you know, I always kind of like, I never go like, I'm never one that's, I'm not. ACL is not Coachella, so I don't try to go entirely that direction, but I do, coordinate like what I want to wear. I definitely am like, I could see myself doing this day, this the other day. So I've got a mixed bag to pull from here this weekend. Where I really was like skewing heavy is, I was talking to our buddy Jordan, and we were talking about how like you just really get these things. It's gonna be hot this weekend.
Yeah.
Going to be maybe one of the hotter ACL weekends in recent memory.
Sunday especially.
Yeah. And it's just like you just really want sweat wicking. It's like the huge thing. Like if you can get out there in a poly dry fit style Cool Max sweat wicking, that's huge. But is that fun? Not really. I was trying to find the middle ground. I was looking at all sorts of Nike ACG stuff.
Yeah.
So a couple notes on the ACG stuff. I did grab a pair of ACG shorts. Very, very functional, very light, breezy nylon material, zipper pockets, so your stuff won't fall out of them. Super functional, belted waist. And I grabbed a t-shirt too. If you've been paying attention, ACG is releasing a lot of very cool t-shirts. These things are running like $45 or $50. I got this thing in. It is a poly blend, but so it should breathe. But I'm telling you what, man, this is like a boxy, heavy tee.
Yeah.
Like if that's your, is it going to be hot at ACL? Maybe. Am I still going to wear it? Yes. But beyond all of that, like if that's if that's the style of tee you like, these ACG tees will hit for you because this thing, it feels substantial. Mm-hmm. So it's I was excited to learn that basically. I was pulling all this up and grabbing a couple of things off Nike. If Nike had any of their ACG sneakers available on the website, I would have been a full-blown ACG boy. Yeah. I would have had the full kit, which probably better in hindsight that I didn't, because it's a recipe for looking like a real doofus to just wear one subset of an entire brand.
Those are cool.
But I really, really wanted these ACG Mountain Fly lows. You can see them up on the screen if you're watching us at youtube.com/washedmedia.
Is any of this at the Congress store?
No, they do not have a lick of ACG, unfortunately, which seems dumb because I don't know, man. This stuff is all kind of hiking oriented and trail. It's getting on dusty trails, and you read the description for these mountain flies, and it's all talking about like desert, mountains, jumping boulders, like all that type of stuff, and seems like this stuff it would crush at Nike South Congress, but alas, I wasn't able to find a place to. And I pulled up End Clothing here, but there's like returns with End borderline impossible.
They are impossible.
So I didn't do it. But that was a big vibe for me. Was this ACG stuff, and then man, I've got this late last year, early 2020, either late 20 or early 21. I grabbed this bucket hat from Jacquemus.
Yeah, I'm bucketing this weekend.
And this thing it's cool, but it's sat in the closet for months now. I've not been able to pull it out yet. And ACL, it's going to make its debut.
Good.
And we've also talked about this, is like festivals are really great opportunities to try some of these funkier things that you've been meaning to do. But it's like, I can't, I haven't found the right time or place for this.
Yeah.
This is my opportunity. So it's one of these Jacquemus Bob Artichoke hats. So it's got like this like frayed edge around it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, I'm pulling together something. It's like a little bit French farmer, a little bit like, 18 East / works at a vineyard type thing.
Yeah.
And that's so I got that going for me as well.
Well, let's coordinate days on that
so that we don't double bucket.
No, I want to double bucket.
You want a double bucket?
Yeah. Fuck it, double bucket.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the bucket a new cop for you?
No, it's actually Ashley's hat.
Okay.
Guess where it's from?
No idea.
Free People.
Yes. Bill fulfilling the years long dream.
Yeah.
To bust out some Free People. Mm-hmm. This okay. in case you just Google Jacquemus farming, like they
There you go.
right, like his fashion
Yeah.
shows have always, a lot of them, or at least this one that I remember vividly,
That's so cool.
was very, very, had this, vineyard farm French thing going on. So
what
that,
a long walk for those.
very long
models.
walk. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. So those are kind of my vibes. I also have this, we've talked mesh tank tops. I
would love to see that.
I say mesh tank top, and I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
You're thinking of like jersey mesh.
What is it? Lined?
No, but it's not like basketball mesh. The one that I ended up grabbing.
Okay.
It's more like a crochet. It's more like a knit. I'll pull this one up. It's from Stussy.
I'm just immediately thinking of like the tan line that will come through on that. If it's
Yep.
not, you'll have like all these dots on you.
So it's from Stussy, in the way that this is going to kind of bleed into another or just a quick trend conversation that I wanted to pick your brain on. Here it is. See, like
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's closer shot.
Good.
See, it's like just this open knit.
Yeah.
You were thinking basketball, like
Yes.
like mesh,
Yeah.
or like very sheer mesh, very poly thin
But is that like, what is that made of?
cotton.
You don't think it'll be hot,
I do think it will be hot,
but you're gonna get it.
but I'm gonna do it anyway. The way this is styled, like I even think Stussy styled this. Yeah, here we go. Is over a t-shirt.
There
Now
you go.
Now I'm not doing this.
There
I'm
you
not.
go.
I'm not going for this look. But sweater vests. I'm switching up the conversation here. I'm going into a fall trend. Sweater vests are back this fall for sure. And the way that I keep seeing them styled and like worn in street style is like it's Fair Isle, it's funky colors, it's crazy stuff, and it's just over a white tee like this. Yay or nay?
Probably not for me.
Yeah.
I just feel like I would look like a little kid.
Like yeah. It's but you have the right, like, it's one of those things that like would be cool with your tattoo,
Yeah.
because
right.
it's like the juxtaposition, right? It's like
Mhm.
kind of preppy and buttoned up, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
That you look you're edged up. You got a fresh cut for ACL
Yeah.
too. I did not. But
we've had this conversation.
I
But
feel
my
like-
hair is so terrible when it turns round.
yeah.
It's like a fro.
Um,
It can grow out, but I've reached a point.
But I feel like when I've seen this kind of the sweater vest over a tee thing work in street style, like the dudes rocking it kind of have like a sleaze thing going on, like a little bit of the sleaze core, like
right.
Maybe a little wispy mustache or like a neck tat or like stringy hair, something to kind of set that off. You're right. If you're got a fresh fade and are looking clean, then it can skew little boysish, I think. So, that's what I get. That's what I got, man. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I don't just collapse in a puddle, in a heap with the 90s.
We'll be all right.
Highs in the 90s.
I was going through they showed like all the old ACL posters, and they held it in August once or twice.
Wow.
Maybe just once.
I mean, when I started going, it was held in September.
Yeah.
And then they bumped off that because I think they were just like, this is too hot.
Yeah. They did it in August one time.
That wild. Was that like year 2 or something?
I don't remember.
That had to have been ages ago, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got for today. Oh, I wanted to touch on just we can have a vintage conversation here.
Okay.
We've talked vintage trends recently. We've talked about vintage tees, which we'll bring up. We've talked about vintage stores, vintage thrift scenes. So I popped into a store here that's been around for a while in Austin that I have not been into for a while, called Prototype.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been into Prototype on South Congress? It's like it's a little, you got to head down a side street. It's not right on the, on front facing, Congress facing, little small store. Just cemented my, I'm never going to be, I sold at Buffalo Exchange recently, And I took a minute to rifle through some t-shirts. I just can't do it in the big box, in like not a big box store, but in a crowded store like that.
Yeah.
Where they take in anything and not anything and everything, but you know what I mean? There's
a
lot
of inventory.
A lot of inventory and a lot of different styles. They're not really curating one specific thing. You know what I mean? I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't shop like that. But want to give a lot of applause to, and this is a two-parter. One, vintage stores that curate for you, that really slice down that selection into specific avenues. And then two, are still charging like very reasonable, inexpensive prices.
Yeah. Prototype is pretty reasonable.
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
So like they had a whole gang of like t-shirts, and man, if you want a soft ass, oversized like crew neck sweatshirt, that's the place to go. I had a dozen to choose from. I was trying on some of the flannels that they had. And like, man, if you like that John Elliott kind of like Hemi style, oversized wool thing going, like they've talked about how the inspiration for that flannel is a vintage flannel. Like, find yourself some of these shops that kind of curate for you. And I could have grabbed several things. I ended up grabbing a very, very cool sweater that was marked as a Banana Republic sweater from the 1980s.
Wow.
And is like, looks... I'll put it on and wear it in here as soon as the weather gets a little bit cooler. But like, it looks like it's from Ame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's this crazy cool knit heavy. It's like, it's an 80s large. So it like kind of has that drop shoulder, but like fits you right in the length. So it's, I know that vintage is having its moment as is, but every time I pop into one of these vintage stores that really like culls it down for you and is only presenting you with these like cool little finds, great place to find stuff for good prices. And right now it's like the line between what's vintage and what's new is like very blended and bleeds together because so much of the inspiration is coming from vintage looks.
Right. That's my spot.
So shouts to Prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
found a lot of stuff.
I just blew it up.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Tell me about what you discovered recently as well.
Yeah.
Big Time Auction House. Say it for us so that I don't botch it. Sotheby's.
Sotheby's.
Yeah.
They're in the vintage tea game. And I was, again, targeted on Instagram. And I was like,
Buy Sotheby's?
Yeah. I had to click on it. It's like, there's no way this is reasonable. And it wasn't.
No.
It's all I didn't get past the Grateful Dead collection, but they've got like tons of these just incredible old original Grateful Dead tees, like starting at $200 and going up from there. There's one that was like $600.
$600.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But they're really cool.
Now, did I read that these came from like some dude's collection?
Probably.
And were these auctions or were they just straight up for sale?
No, you can buy them. I mean, if you're willing to pay that.
What?
And then, like, what about the sizing? That's what just kills me on stuff like that. If you're buying online, there you go.
Well, so with vintage tees, I mean, one thing is like the size almost doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
For you and I, it's like the length is the biggest thing.
It really
but
is.
it can almost be as wide as you want it to be, 620.
620.
So is the price for this, is this because it's literally from like the 1978
It better be.
or whatever, probably?
Yeah, it has to be.
It's like an OG.
Right. But think about the condition of the material. Like,
Right.
I have
right.
shirts that are around that age, and I only wear them around the house.
From
They're
the
in such
1970s? You
terrible
got
condition.
some that are
Yeah.
that old?
Yeah. It's nothing but holes.
Well, maybe Sotheby's wants your collection next.
I doubt it.
What's your prized possession? You got any that would sell for $600 from 1978?
No. Fuck no. I'm telling you, they're in terrible condition. Terrible.
This one looks like it's not in great condition. It looks very.
Well, it's not a band.
It looks
tee.
very sweaty. Okay.
Well, one of them is actually. It's a
It's very sweaty, or it's a Bansi.
both.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna write these guys an email, see if they're interested in my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've got a Phoenix tee from 2009,
Now you're talking.
Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix,
Uh-huh.
and the thing just doesn't fit me anymore. And I'd like to.
You
I
part
will
with it for the right price.
for the right price for $620. I'll sell it. You know, I'll consign it with Sotheby's. I'm going. Speaking of sizes, though, and you're right. I guess they're not showing any size. I guess if you're paying $600, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, are you going to wear this thing? Are you going to frame it?
I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of these are very, very cool.
Right?
Like these things are about to get pinned because
I know.
some of these graphics I have not seen, and I mean that is killer.
Uh-huh.
Little archway,
That's really good.
that's incredible. Yeah, check this out. It's just on Sotheby's website. I just searched for the Grateful Dead tees on the website. But yeah, man, when I'm like, if I buy a band tee at ACL this weekend, I'm buying a large.
Yeah.
I recently picked up some Austin FC merch.
Uh-huh.
Went to the Verde store, and all the good stuff that's like done by like local artists. There was like a Will Bryant capsule collection, and then there's some other stuff. It's like, and they're all printed on blanks or whatever, but the art and the printing is like clearly, you know, a level above the generic Fanatics stuff that is just like a full on, you know, shield on your chest from the heavy plastisol. And there were only a few left from those good collections, and they were larges and extra larges. And like, I just bought one of them. I bought as an XL, and it's like, it fits me okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little long, but like with the whole boxy baggy thing right now, it's like I put that thing on. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wash and dry it, and it's gonna be totally fine.
Yeah.
And a lot of with these blanks, the, you know, Toltecs, Bella Canvas, Next Level, like whatever it is, like they run small already. Plus they shrink. They're just, you know what I mean. But yeah, I can't wait till Sotheby's comes calling for my collection. So.
Yeah, the band tees, I was thinking about that earlier. If I was a hot musician, I would put so much effort into the merch.
Into your merch.
And have like really good tees.
I mean, this is what we have seen. This is what John Mayer has done.
Correct.
Right.
But I will say, the Online Ceramics John Mayer tour tee that I have fits like shit.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I mean. The blank itself,
Right.
Pay more attention to that.
I mean, legitimately, the reason that we have not done Club Cool merch yet as a t-shirt is because I am so, like, I want to make sure that the fit is very cool.
Right.
Like, I do not want to put you in a
next level
slim fit next level tee.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it has to make sense. It's a style podcast. This t-shirt has to be stylish. Yeah. So that's been a hang up, and yeah, I'm sure it interferes with these guys trying to put out merch as well.
Old Pal.
Yeah.
They use Young Maven blanks.
Yep.
Those are nice.
Yeah, those are very good.
They're like, I think the blanks are at least $40, right?
You can go buy a Young Maven t-shirt that's a blank for $40. If I'm sure that there is a way to get a wholesale account and maybe get that down to 20, something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to look into that.
We'll look into that.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break and hear from today's sponsor, and then we got one more segment when we get back. Phil, you know, sometimes you got to make a big change in your life.
Yeah.
Whether it's you taking that hair down a notch, or me changing from buying medium concert tees to large concert tees. You know, sometimes action is just necessary. Well, I recently made a very big change, an even larger one, some would say. I switched from brushing my teeth with a regular toothbrush to brushing with an electric toothbrush from Brush.
Yes, Brush.
And life changed. Can never go back from this. I've got a dentist appointment coming up next Wednesday, and this is my first one since I've been using a Brush.
Ooh.
And I'm itching to get in there.
Yeah.
Look at these pearly whites, baby.
Yeah.
Check these out.
Right.
You're not going to spend 20 minutes doing my tartar thing on the bottom of my teeth because I've been using my Brush.
And you're going to say
morning and night.
Keep your free bullshit brush.
You can hang on to that.
Right. I got the Brush.
I got the Brush at home. That's exactly right. I'm not nervous at all. I'm very excited, and that's because I just know that with this Brush, man, my teeth are super clean. Smile more confidently. just feeling good, feeling great about having healthier oral hygiene. This thing looks great sitting on your bathroom sink as well. I have the nice, toned down matte black color. It's very handsome, but there are lots of other good ones that will fit your own personality that you can choose from. And here's the other great thing. I don't have to worry about replacing the brush because there's a subscription program that sends me one right on cue.
Nice.
Oh, this one's old. Nope, need a new one. Here it is in the mail. I don't have to even think about it. It's got 6 unique modes to customize your brushing experience. I have been kind of switching back and forth between daily and gentle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to work too hard on these things.
No.
So I go gentle, but there's the one for your tongue. There's one for your gums, 6 different ones to choose from. It's got a 4-week battery life. I literally have only had to put this thing on the charger 1 time so far.
Wow.
Got a little magnetic charging stand, compact travel case. That all comes with it. And once again, that subscription program, you just never have to think about it. Bruce ships you a new replacement head every 6 months so that you're never stuck using a worn down brush head. So you, the listeners, the cool kids, you can get $15 off your Bruce toothbrush kit and refill plan when you use promo code CLUBCOOL, one word, CLUBCOOL, at Bruce.com. That's $15 off using promo code CLUBCOOL at BRUUSH.com. Smile's going to feel great. Teeth are going to feel great. And you will no longer be worried about going to the dentist. $15 off. Promo code is CLUBCOOL. Head to Bruce.com. All right, Phil. Before we wrap up today, this is one that's been sitting in the hopper for a minute. Today's a good day to answer it. It was a listener prompt, a listener question that is something that I've thought about personally, and that I thought would potentially be interesting to chat about on the pod. The question is about having a role in the fashion industry and how that correlates and connects and influences your own personal style. So to quote from the question, for example, when you work for Rowdy Gentleman or Howler Brothers, is it hard to separate between making products that you personally like versus what will sell and fits the brand? On the other side, do you find after a while that your personal style starts to get impacted by the looks that each brand comes out with? And if you have friends in the fashion industry, do you find that their personal style mirrors the brands that they work for? So I'll start by talking about a little bit about my Howler experience, which is somewhat similar to the experience at RG when they initially brought me on. But I think that the fact that my style goes far outside of what Howler creates, as a lifestyle brand that is, has a vision, was part of the appeal for me to come in and give my own insights, advice, expertise, and direction on kind of what the world of fashion outside of Howler is doing and looks like, and where it's going, and then how we can kind of, take some of these threads and kind of instill them and use them in our own way. And I'm I don't know if any of you guys have ever thought of wondered that before, oh, you work for Howler Brothers, but you don't only wear Howler Brothers. And that is, at Howler, most of the dudes are kitted up in Howler all day, every day. And I actually think that point of difference for me is something that I bring to the table.
Yeah.
With RG, it was very different. And that I think that was look, if you're working at a brand and people aren't wearing the brand that are working there, that's a bad sign. Mm-hmm. That is there's a very fine line, right? Because I think that people that want to work in style and in fashion, you think about maybe some companies that you'd like to work for. And I'm sure that when you think about that, you're like, oh, I'd love to work for this brand because I like this brand. I want to wear this brand. But when you think a little bit further about it, think about how many brands there are out there, right? And how many jobs some of the big ones, offer. And I'm just, you think everybody that works at Polo Ralph Lauren is full on in Ralph Lauren all the time? Or what about, you know, take that a notch down? You think everybody that is developing, you know, Nautica for Macy's is like kitted out in Nautica all day long, like every day?
I would be.
You would be.
Yeah.
You'd just be looking like you got off a yacht every
Yeah.
single day coming into work.
Uh-huh.
I just, my point is, a lot of people that follow a traditional path into the industry, whether, you know, maybe they go to FIT, maybe they go to Kent State, maybe they get an associate's degree from like ACC's, you know, fashion program. Like, first and foremost, what you want is a job.
Yeah.
If you happen to get to work for one that like aligns with your personal style, that's amazing. But I think that's a perk rather than a feature of working in the industry.
Yeah.
And then I think as you kind of grow your career, you look for the opportunities that I think align with your own, you know,
Yeah.
personal style choices. When we were at RG, you would wear what, like t-shirts mostly from RG?
Mhm.
Maybe one of the camp collars, maybe one of the Aloha shirts. Like,
No,
never.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They were too loud.
Swim trunks?
Yes.
Yeah.
The last line of swim trunks.
Yeah.
Those were great.
Yeah, those were good. But was it like, were there t-shirts that you liked and gravitated towards, or were you going for it because it was like
No, there was. I would never wear something I didn't
that
like.
you did not like?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that speaks to what we were trying to do there at the end with RG as well,
Mhm.
is like very, very, very much pushing for stuff that we actually wanted to wear.
Yeah.
And honestly, the biggest hang up was always, I think, the name for everybody.
Mhm.
It wasn't necessarily that we didn't like the things that we were making, but it was that we had, a lot of us had issues with like putting the words "rowdy gentleman" on our body.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if you go back and look at like those final collections, like we were using those words as little as we possibly could,
Mhm.
using RG in every spot that we could. And that, you know, just to speak to like making products that we personally like, that's, we were just having a conversation, you know, about a new product for next spring, summer at Howler. And I think I started a sentence where I was like, you know, it's like, well, I want to give this input, but I know it's completely because of my own personal bias.
Yeah.
And my boss was like, you know, use your personal bias. That's
Yeah,
like, that's
of
what I've
course.
been doing for 11 years. That's why like those decisions are why we've been successful, is because, you know, we make things that we personally like. And I think that is, you know, you talk about like death knells for brands or bad signs. You never want to be making product for the sole reason that you think it will sell.
Yeah.
Like, there is room for a little bit of that in a clothing line, I think. But it should, but even those items where you're like, well, we're maybe you're still making it because it is still selling, but it, at least at some point, hopefully was a product that you liked or loved or thought highly of. And so it's, you know, that is one thing that I really like about working at Howler, is that we, you know, we choose things and we pick things like with data in mind, but also like the primary focus is like, we want to make stuff that everybody at the table
Mhm.
is really proud of and really likes and wants to wear.
Right.
And so I you know, I wield a little bit of influence and like I said up front, like I use what I see outside to kind of maybe push in certain directions, but always softly and in line with what the brand is and wants to be. The back half of the question, do I find that personal style gets impacted by the looks? Absolutely. Like very much so. And when you, I think it's a give and take. Like, you push for some stuff. Like a few weeks back, I was talking about that Travail kind of work chore jacket
Mhm.
that we released that I was super excited about. Well, obviously I'm going to wear that because I pushed hard for it because I loved it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, man, like you can't work at a brand, especially not a lifestyle one, and not kind of want to pick up, it's hard, and not want to pick up some of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like I have done some fly fishing, especially when I was younger, but like working in Howler makes me want, like absolutely makes me want to get back out there and do fly fishing trips or start checking the swells in Galveston and like making weekend trips to catch a few 3-footers, you know?
Hey, we've seen you
Because you've seen me get totally pitted. So you know that I'm about that life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a good question, and you know, you definitely don't have to wear only the brand you work for. That's, you know, I think that if you're able to do that, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody that like loves this stuff the way that we do can't possibly be expected to only wear one brand, right? You know, and I think if you, I think maybe once you've created something, you know, like we talked to Pat at Uniform or Chase at Howler or John Elliott or whatever, like those guys that are making full lines that are like their vision, like that's when I think it makes sense to like be like, I am wearing only my brand because this is literally like my baby that I'm creating. When you are helping to create that brand, I think it's helpful that you are still in touch with the other things that are out there and going on and that you personally like. So
yeah, they didn't hire you just to agree with everything.
No, exactly.
Just an echo chamber.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, you know, I if I didn't work for Howler, would I have as much Howler in my closet? Probably not. But that's just part of the game, and I'm super excited to be over there and to continue, you know, making dope stuff that gets me more involved in that lifestyle that I'm a big fan of, and doing our thing over there. So thank you for that question. I thought it was a good one and one that I've kind of wanted to touch on for a while. So
have y'all released that Austin FC hat?
We did, man. That thing flew in a few minutes. But we got round 2 coming. Yeah. 2022. New season. You know, you can get vaccinated out at Austin FC.
You can get vaccinated ACL.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They got it right? They got a vaccination?
Yes.
Yeah.
As they should. Actually.
Well, who's going to do that on a Friday? You're going to feel like shit on Saturday.
Well, they've been giving them out.
You want
to get boosted?
Well, with the new information that's come out about about Pfizer.
What?
Oh, it turned out Pfizer's the trash one. Pfizer's no good.
I thought they said Johnson & Johnson.
That's what that is what everybody thought, and as it turns out, J&J is like more effective for catching it, especially with the Delta variant.
Fuck.
Yeah, they just released like the studies, 2 different studies. Pfizer total waning immunity.
Yeah, I need to get boosted.
Fades after like a couple of months. So I've basically just been out here, you know, freeballing it.
Yeah.
The last couple months.
What are they saying about boosters? Can we get them yet, or we have to wait?
I mean, you can just walk up and get. If ACL's just handing out vaccinations, just go walk up and get boosted.
I'm sure it's not that simple, but might as well try, right?
Sir, do you have a vaccination card? No, I don't. Okay, here's your boost. Here's your shot.
That's true.
Boom, boosted. Maybe we do it on Sunday. Maybe we get boosted on Sunday. Which one do you have? You have Pfizer as well? We might have to get Sunday boosters.
Yeah. All right, fuck it.
No, I'll wait until somebody says go get a booster. Okay. But it's looking like we'll need one sooner rather than later for the Pfizer boys out there, which is, you know, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Thanks to our sponsor today, Bruche. Love that thing. I will continue to talk about it. Get those chompers correct, man.
Yeah.
Go check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/clubcool. Just a few days ago, I put out our latest editorial, which is it's all stuff from mall brands, but they're basically like fill-ins for stuff that that they look a lot like from contemporary and designer brands.
Great.
Something that I've been wanting to throw out there, because like we talk about, we get that question so often. It's like, y'all talk about Todd Snyder and John Elliott and Aimé Leon Dore and all these other kind of higher end brands. Like, what if I want that look, but I don't want to spend that cash? And It's like, well, it's the other brands that we always talk about. It is J. Crew and Uniqlo and Abercrombie and Banana Republic and Gap and all that type of stuff. So I pulled a few things from some of those, put them on a list, showed you what that item would be like replacing from a higher end brand, and boom, that's available to all of our patrons. Yes, even the $2 a month, you get a discount if you sign up for the whole year. So it's basically free. Go check us out, patreon.com/clubcool. Follow us on Instagram @clubcoolpod. Hey, maybe we'll throw up a little kit pick this weekend at ACL.
Now you're talking.
Yeah. Could that be our first post on the feed?
Randy. Randy likes it.
I knew he would. All right. Thank you so much. Anything before we go? Any final comments? You've got some music to listen to, I think.
Yeah, I think I need
this evening.
I have some catching up to do.
Got to go home, maybe make a pizza. You making a pizza tonight?
No pizza tonight.
No?
Mm-mm.
You want to get a pizza? That does it for us today. We'll be back next week. Thanks everybody for listening.